So yes, we'll get on with this game. As I said, I don't know anything about the game. I don't know anything about it. And the person who recommended it is a questionable person to be recommending games for the stream in general. I just caught my headphones on a knob on my desk. So yeah. Strap yourself in, I guess. What I can tell you is I'm probably going to be talking quite a lot. So get used to this voice. Because it's not just a 40-minute babbling at the beginning you're going to be listening to. Put your seatbelts on. Oh my god, look how tiny all that is. I now know how Jeff feels. Display. I want. Oh, there. Yeah, on. Do you want the... I think we want the updated. I think the originals just look stupid. Maybe... It's going to change it for you. That's a little better for me. Right, let me just... There you go. Hey, Sean. I hope work went well. Sean, it will not surprise you at all. We're 50 minutes into the stream and I haven't done anything because I've been talking the whole time. I will turn the stream around if anyone refuses to buckle up. Buckle the fuck up, guys. You're in for a bumpy ride. Welcome to the world of Higurashi. When they cry, the Onikakushi arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Don't play tough. Please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. Well, that's a warning. Japanese words. Don't tell me to behave. Please do not lament. I will forgive you even if the world will not forgive you. Please do not lament. I will forgive you even if you will not forgive the world. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Bernkastel. Bernkastel. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or whatever. The early summer of the 58th year of the Showa era. If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realise I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. The mechanical, repetitive sound finally stilled, and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the seceders remained annoyingly loud, and yet I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She is no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Oh, this game involved tentacles. Then why this pain, my eyes getting moist, why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough, and countless times I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away, except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind with her. Like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. I have no idea what's going on. Somebody's been apologising for a while now. I wonder what she's apologising for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I'd last been to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the melodious cacophony of the crosswalk, even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks, and the cry of the Higurashi, the evening seceders. Rather than make me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There is nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints, there aren't even vending machines, no music stores, no restaurants, and no arcades. Even an ice cream parlour would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlours, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlour. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody's still apologising. Who is she apologising to? She's apologised so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologise so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologising, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done. If it can't be fixed, then there's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologises, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologising in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey you, the one she's apologising to, why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologising in such a pathetic voice. Kiechi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We'd spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. Now that they were even from the same era. See you later, Jeff. She's apologizing for breaking the stream. Only you have to do that. From there, we take a car deep into the mountains. Past where the dense forest encroached on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There where I live now, in a Mizawa. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air, flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighbouring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working till the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that though. Mum made breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg and grilled salmon. My mum was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mum never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Kiechi. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savoured the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mum gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mum made me each morning, that was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at my breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mum rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rina-chan? Hurry, hurry. Mum really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Rina's one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walked to school with a girl was just lame. But well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rina wait there for me every morning? Taking one less gulp of miso soup. Jesus Christ, I'm going to struggle to say that. Turns stream around and picks up moose. Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I race to the door. Please thank Rina-chan for the pickles. Pickles! Guys, there's pickles in this game! This is our kind of game! A difficult game because I have to read so much. I tell Moose to stay seated. Moose, please stay seated. That's the point. Me and Moose are going to be doing a reading stream at some point. We're going to read you horror stories closer to Halloween. Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savoured them a bit more. Morning. Someone got rid of your pickles. Kiachi-kun, good morning. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Kiachi-kun, you're so cold. I'll wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust, without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? Rina had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding, I'd wait for you. With those words, Rina seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever until you come, Rina, no matter how long. For forever? Rina turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Rina? Huh? I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mum. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavour to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Rina? Or was it your mum? Huh? Why did you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Rina, or was it your mum? Well, why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. Huh? She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she'd used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. Rina nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. Hey, Chris. I think I've got my book that I'm going to read from behind me somewhere. Is that it? I'm tempted to fake moving things around here. Yes, it's there. I'm reading from this. That's where my stories are coming from. I pray that Rina never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Rina. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself. Let's go. If we keep Mum waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just keeps spacing out otherwise, I called Rina back to reality so we can make our way to school. The strange, easily flustered girl was Rina Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realise it's not just her name that's strange. Me-chan, good morning. Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Ah, finally, you two are late. Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rina, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sunozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Rina. It's been a while, Ki-chan. How many years? I was only off for 2 days. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze stared at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing on a point between my legs. So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. What? I've gone quite splendidly, you'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little moustache now. Yeah, the game is, meant to be spoopy. Spoiler, I don't think these two girls are very nice. Or at least two of the girls aren't very nice. I'm telling you that now. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem though. I'll introduce you next time to be sure to greet him properly. Don't say next time, right now it's just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I told you not to trust Lucius. Rendezvous? What's wrong with that word? Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in a near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. How was it, seeing the city again? Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral, I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening at all. I just come back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Tusk. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know. $50 Shades of... I've never read that book, and I'm never gonna read that book. It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yep, I wanted Ki-chan to bring me back a Westport catalogue, you see? Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm going to get another game full of hot action. This time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course, if Ki-chan is up for it, I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games, I don't intend to lose. Whoa, then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her the affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in, so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. It's called hentai and it's art. Tong 69. I like the fact that Akbar is now just giving me one bit to say random shit all the time. I felt like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Oh my goodness. Better than as usual, 0 bits but random shit. That's kind of true. I like how this game had a warning on how difficult the game is, and yet all I've done is read so far. So it's difficult reading. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. It was such a lively mood, it felt like more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Reading is difficult. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead, right in front of the classroom door, so I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Heh, too bad, I wasn't going to fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here, you meant for this to be the test of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face. But what is it, you guys? Step back, Rina, it's dangerous, she's here. Huh? Then Satoko-chan is... Her name is Satoko Hujo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap, a blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious, Satoko. A haughty laugh came from beyond the door. Excellent, Ki-chan. I guess that means you win this round. No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one, traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never miss fire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape, no time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal, no rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop? That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after, making me focus my attention upward, so I lifted my hand to the door. There were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape, a frightening trap, a potent and terrifying trap, concealed by using the blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Satoko, but in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me hook, line and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. Ki-chan, watch out. Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ow, ow, ow. An inkstone filled the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it. My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, Kiachi-san. Aren't we a lively one this morning? Is this Doki Doki Literature Club? Nope, we're going to play that next week sometime. Doki Doki Literature Club is a really good game. Regardless of what you guys think. Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning, you little... Ow, 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 ow. It seemed I'd inadvertently sprayed my back a little when I landed. Better than landing on the inkstone. A small hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, go away. The small dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. You know Doki Doki is the sound of a heartbeat, right? So we're all heartbeats, apparently. Yay, Rika-chan, good morning. Did we complete amnesia? That game was so bad, I gave up. Good morning to you, Rena. Good morning to all. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rina, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I am the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what proof? I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this, but a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with. I'm sorry. Try saying that. If you won't say it. I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. So yes then. How was it bad? I got stuck in a room for like 20 minutes. I had no idea what to do. There was like nothing to do. So we gave up. We played the monkey game. I'm against violence. You don't even have any proof. Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Eek! Stop, get away from me, you beast. Don't say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tucked in the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. It doesn't bother me. You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting, yeah? Rika gently patted the head of the prankster friend. You would never guess these two were the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rina's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. Oh, Satoko-chan is crying. So cute. Cute. You can't take them home. Huh? But they're so cute. You can't, no matter how cute they are. But just for a bit, it's fine. Rina kept the cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. I'm not gonna play it again, it was awful. It wasn't scary in the least, it was just annoying. According to Mion, Rina is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can just looking. That should be fine, right. Rina swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rina into the authorities. Forgive me, Rina. I'll be sure to bring you good care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Excuses? I played the game. People saw me play the game. I was bored of the game, like 10 minutes in. I honestly did not like that game. I don't know why people find it creepy. It's just very cliched in how it tries to scare you. I ended up just standing around in the dark, throwing books around in boxes. It really just... It just didn't do anything for me. And then I got stuck in a room with a puzzle that was unsolvable. And, like... I ended up making a tower out of boxes and then giving up. He didn't get far enough. Well, make a better game and I might get better further. You don't even play horror games, so you don't even care. It was boring. It was so boring. Like, everyone made it out. It was such a good game. But it was so boring. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. Like, to the point that even chat was dead. No one in chat cared. No one was talking about the game. If anyone was talking, they were doing the love thing and talking among themselves. No one gave a shit about the game. It was that boring. Ahaha, we made it in time. Rise, attention. Mion gave out the morning commands. Command me. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one, but naturally she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rina and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. Oh, thanks. I've got used to reading a lot because the Danganronpa games are only voice acted in the trials. So like the good 5 hours before the trials, I had to read. And as I said before I started, oh, that's the thing, Sean. If you're around at all on Saturday, we're doing Danganronpa on Saturday. We're finishing, or we're redoing Chapter 2, so that we can do V3 next month. I tried because I find it very difficult to speak because I have speech problems. But I try. I'm happy. I know Luke won't tell me about lewd stuff in games because it doesn't affect him. Because he just, it's not anything that goes into his head. You know, he just doesn't think about those things. So that's why I was worried there might be boobies and stuff, because he would never think to tell me about those things. So it did not surprise me that they started going on about someone's crotch. Did not surprise me. But he doesn't usually set me wrong about horror stuff, because he knows how much I like it. So if he said that it's a decent... No, he didn't say it was a scary game, but he said it was a decent game to play for Halloween. Something at some point needs to happen. So I do apologise that I'm going to be reading what is seemingly a very boring visual novel game to you right now. And I hope you do enjoy listening to me read it, because this might go on for a while. It might go on for a while. Doki Doki Literature Club is also a visual novel, and we are going to play that next week. But it does get into the game a lot faster than this seems to be. This is just a lot of talking at the minute. I could listen to Hannah talk all day. You don't want to. You honestly don't want to. I babble. I was playing Animal Crossing with people this morning and I didn't put my mic on because I was like, I wouldn't make any fucking sense. Summon my inner space candy. What time am I going to be streaming Saturday? I don't know yet. It's going to be most of the day though, because obviously I want to get it done, and it's a long game. So we might start like... We might start at like midday, because I don't think... Like, it all depends on Kelsey, to be honest. Because I don't know what her birthday stream's going to be like. But I'm going to be there for the whole thing to support her. So it really depends on that. But I'm going to start maybe at about midday. And then hopefully finish up before Jeff goes live in the evening. You won't be here. Well, it is a weekend. I don't expect people to be here on the weekend. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rina and Mion with their studies. You're a pretty good teacher, Kiachi-kun. Easy to understand. Rina took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on. With these marks, it's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relaxed than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Mi-chan, Kiechi-kun, is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too. You're such a good and honest kid, Rina. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school. What? So thanks so much. Especially you, Rena. Private lessons, just the two of us. Lessons? A puff of smoke, shaped like a halo, popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about the next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in a city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. Well, knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equal entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock. That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant reading them out with an exam. If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off, but since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. Ki-chan, we're done. It's a wonderful lunchtime. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period. Kiachi-kun, let's have lunch. I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me. Alright, let's eat. There seemed to be different cliques, even within the classes. Some of them are divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls, but we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Kiachi-kun, hurry. Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Kiachi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crust, like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just show it to us? Come on. Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start. At first, this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Let's see. The sound of a little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group, made up of all girls. Of course there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle, where everybody was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. My, isn't Sir Kiechi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross-counter stabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious. Oh, this taro was good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved some from dinner last night. By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too. These taste like Mum's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mould, they were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing. Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. Oh ho ho ho. That's nothing for you to boast about. Rena's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know. It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made it a lot this time. It's good, I hope. I hope? It got high marks from me. Mian, you're taking too much. Knocking Mian's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena, but Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. How did you like it? Isn't Rena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Kiachi-san. I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Ki-chan, Satoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Satoko's face went pale. Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know. Of course I can. I really can. It's really hard for her to lie. Kiachi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too. Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Oh, thanks. I stumble over my words too much to do things like that. I do hit record the thing, like the group thing online. I have the app on my phone. I do the photography stuff. Maybe at some point I'll put a voice acting one up there. Well, just pretend it's like a home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's asparagus. Mion made eye contact with me, and within 3 seconds I had Rika-chan's mouth covered, holding a piece of bacon wrapped asparagus and giving her 2 choices. She's pretty terrible. The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower. So which? Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is, do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative, the oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just to show how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into this Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal. I do know, I really do. Then answer the question. I know. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. Oh, cute. Rena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. Rena, Mimi is picking on me. Cute, it's okay, Rena, Uni-chan. Oni-chan will take care of all these bad people who tease my little sister. Yeah, as I said, I do photography on there. Whoosh, boof, bam. There was a flash of lightning. What was that? Just now. Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time we've gotten one right. Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena. See, Satoko-chan, I took care of them. Cute. I want to take you home. Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. A shadow stretched off into the distance. Hey, Kiechi-kun, tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Rina, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Rina saw me lost for words and realised that I'd misunderstood and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that. You see, apparently that wasn't what she meant. So apparently, I don't know where I got she. Flashing. So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun with Rina in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning up dejection. Kiechi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Me-chan? Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see, this old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Wahahaha. She's basically Waluigi. Huh? What is that? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach, while Rina flailed around, completely bewildered. I literally looked at the chat and saw, oh, they like each other, and then the word crotches, and I had to look back and see what the fuck you were going on about, Moose. I don't think I could ever do that again if I tried. I will never be able to do that again. That was my one good Waluigi laugh. No one's ever gonna see it again. That's it. It's done. It's lost forever. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rina's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Huh? A joke? Since when? About halfway through? Halfway? So, Keishan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start. Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavourable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rina? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Rina had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just Kichan. You probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yes, so you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Me-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. Best Waluigi laugh. It wasn't bad. But from what I could tell, it wasn't bad. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say it so up front. Kiechi-kun, you're not free perhaps. Perhaps? When me and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rina peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologise, I'm free. Great. The trepidation disappeared from Rina's face as she blossomed into a smile. Sean's smarter than me. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rina, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rina. But her being annoyed was very interesting, so I pushed Rina forwards, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rina. Maybe it should just be the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Whoa. If Kiechi-kun is okay with that, then I'm the one who come up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Kiechi Mayabura. It'll be great if the 2 of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rina? If we bring a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe? Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's gonna be so fun. Later, Kiachi-kun, P-chan, bye. Wow, she's a bit violent. Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. So since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easy if you stop saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch. Ki-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. At some point, I'm guessing, we're gonna have to make a decision. We're in mixed grade, we don't have a uniform. Wait, what? Is this it? What have I done? What did I do? Has this got something to do with the tip? Or is this like the next part of the game? You didn't expect me to play a dating sim? Excuse me? I have the best dating sims. I have one where you date a dragon. I have one where you date pigeons. I have one where you're a daddy dating other daddies. I have the top-notch dating sim game list. I'll have you fucking know. And next week we'll be playing the Try to Date Deranged Girls Simulator. I'll have you know. Wait. Have you never heard of Dream Daddies? No, I've never played the Normal Boots one. I've never ever played that one. Yeah, the daddy one is called Dream Daddies. It's. Well, we'll play it. We'll play it on stream if you want, Moose. Dream Daddy's really fun. It's really fun. I really like that one. It was a very good game. I've already gone down 2 routes. I tend to get a little bit bored of doing it all the time. I've completely 100%ed the pigeon one. 100%ed the pigeon one. But I've got to do it again because you 100% it, or like you get to a point, and then like they've got like a hidden story, and I skipped through the entire hidden story because I was just going for achievements at the time, so I need to go back and do it. Yeah, I should play it at some point. I have lots of dating game sims. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping. Me, and at night there were mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare. Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she still was a girl. I like the pigeon one. I like the pigeon one. Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it could be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand wearing jeans during the season and how steamy the crotch gets. Don't talk to a little kid about that. Wow. It gets steamy. This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing colour. I feel cool just looking at them. Haha, thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. For Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being a one-piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. I had a feeling that Rena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get that from somewhere? Why, yes, Mion-san supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country. That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point of stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like the shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion-san says it'll be a big hit and become a great store with such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. So that was just a little cutscene to do with that. Well, we'll read that one as well, I guess. So, Rena, we're the same age. Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals, even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. Ha ha ha. What month were you born, by the way, Kiechi-kun? I'm July. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Heh, don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by my birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Ki-chan. Right on, too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me, Chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about, as if I'm one to talk, here. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Kiechi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scuff it up a bit. I worried about it before, yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms, can't help it. This building is being retained from rented from the forestry service after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated, they closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. But because of that, the students would have to attend to school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital and head towards the pediatrics department? But because, like, wow, so far, I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rina's reaction. Well, that's why the guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa grow here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Rina on this one. Yes, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck then, I'll just mooch off Ki-chan as he works forever. Well, what do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her response. It is just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. We can hope that something happens now. Not crotch touching. So help me God, if this crotch touching, I will be murdering Luke the next time I speak to him. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rina and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Rina and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Ki-chan, you're late. So sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rina really did make a picnic. Ki-chan, after you left, Rina pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright, I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility for what? For what? As we both turned round, slowly to look at Rina, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes, except this was Rina we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess. When Rina was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Kiechi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Aha, let's get going. Heave-ho. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. See you in a bit, Sean. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mabarakan, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there's so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Maybara fella who just moved here. Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it's quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labelling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezawa from Makino Bike Shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, shooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we pass by, and even their profiles. Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah, we're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbours. Then let's try it out. You there? Who am I? Haha, you're Kiechi Maybara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough. But boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Key-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "you're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course we were called out to again the same way. That's my hobby too. Oh my god. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Miyabara-kun. How wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an apathetic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink. So now then, about time to have lunch maybe. Maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signalled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can, but it's just too much. It's fine, Ki-chan, leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're gonna eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Oh, yes, good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Wait, did you not realise we were a man when they were talking about seeing our penis? Did you not guess that? Or when we were talking about being a boy? Like, we literally said we were a boy? No. No. I mean, he didn't outright say he had a penis, but he was saying, like, he should get his little man out and stuff. And then in the classroom, he turned around and said, there are other boys in the class, but they're much younger than me, and they'd be scared of an older boy. Or when they were eating their food, and they turned around and said, I thought the girls wouldn't like us sharing food with a boy. But they let me eat with them. Oh God. And here everyone said I'd been reading so well. And obviously I'd missed the entire bit where it told Moose we were a boy. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furudi Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Higurashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes. And there, various coloured lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion. It'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan, to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my speciality. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Kiechi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Ki-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. She just wanted to imagine herself in this scenario. I looked at the commands afterwards, and they've got a command for literally everyone. Kill him. Like, everyone has one. Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan too. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll be all eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone. Rena said as she opened up her thermos. Just then I realised that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger. Using your elbows against the roll, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar was also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in her proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Ah, the last meatball. Satoko Huja has been bested. Nom. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rina blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there's so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to compliment the flavour. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rina directly with her praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Rina uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible puff. Oh, Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, Tada used a special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them toward Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What was that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Ho ho ho, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed me on and made a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey, so Rina Uni-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. Wow, how was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears, it's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rina limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. So don't fall for it, Rina. Oh, how? Of course that was asking for the impossible. Rina glommed Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute. Satoko was so cute. Take you home. Here, swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at me and then me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rina, yet that's unfair to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rina-san with some praise? Damn it, that was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? Now that sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Ki-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Ho ho ho, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly, perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it, was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well... It's embarrassing. Do I really have to say, must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red. The words, I can't believe it, practically written on her face. How can you tell? How, that I made it? Of course, Mina had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited to be. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena's face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. But please eat some, Kiechi-kun. There's plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, so say Kiechi-kun. Hey, Punky. How are you ruining the game for Moose? This is very simple. They're having a meal. They're having a picnic. And they're teasing this girl because this girl likes cute things. You obviously don't watch enough Japanese stuff, Moose. Give me a second, guys. 1 second. Yeah, give me this moment, guys. Give me the moment. The moment. Sean will confirm that I literally knew about this, like, the second Animal Crossing came out. And Kelsey, did Kelsey tell you about how Kelsey found out?
Have you got my iPad?
Yeah, it's there. Because I can tell you how Kelsey found out, if you don't know how Kelsey found out. Basically, I can't see Sean there, but me and Sean have been talking about it for like 2 months. Like 2 months, me and him were talking about. Like, I, back in February, said, Jeff's got a girlfriend, he's going on a date. I don't know who it is, but he's going on a date. And as soon as Animal Crossing started, I went, he's dating Ashley. I'll tell you now, he's dating Ashley. I told Sean that the day Animal Crossing came out. I then, later on, went to Kelsey and went, Kelsey, you know Ashley. Do you know if she's dating Jeff? And Kelsey turned around to me and went, no, she's not his type. He wouldn't date her. And about a month later, she messaged me back going, they're dating. I can tell they're dating. I see what you mean. They're dating. I knew from February something was going on. Sean will confirm, back in February I said something was happening. You just turned your iPad on, didn't you?
Yeah. Why?
It turned my stream off right away.
I didn't even know it was on the internet. I'm setting it first. Hold on, I'll turn off the internet a bit. I'll turn the internet off. I only want it for the alarm.
No, I have to restart the entire thing. No, but it kills it. It doesn't just stop it or make it slow. It kills it.
I didn't know it was connected because I don't have
I only had it in my room to turn your alarm off.